Okay, today is February 2nd, 2015, and Raw just ended. Main event was Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan, and Seth Rollins, whoever won the match, would go on to Fastlane and face Roman Reigns for the number one contendership spot against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. And the thing with this is, I don't know, you I know their plans and all the news that's been going around is Vince McMahon does not want to go back on his original plans by having a third guy or maybe even a fourth guy in that match. His plan was to have Roman Reigns versus the Beast Brock Lesnar, and I guess you can say the Royal Rumble could have changed things maybe a little bit. I know they were expecting Roman Reigns to get booed out of the building. That's exactly what he did, but I think they didn't expect as much backlash as they got. And with that being said, um, you never know. Maybe now they had a week, well, only 2 weeks to think about it. And well, not well, this is whatever. They had a whole full week to think about it, and um, things could change. They could kind of sit down and really come to their senses and realize that Roman Reigns maybe isn't ready. Maybe if he is in the main event, is probably put a guy in there who, could possibly make the match more meaningful, more believable. Whether or not you have Reigns win or not, I think a one-on-one with Brock and Reigns couldn't sell you. It couldn't sell me at least. Although the promos last week they did in studio were great, but now I think they're trying to hint at fans that there could be a possibility for you to get what you want, but I think me looking way too much into it, I think it's just one of those things just to shut us up for the next 4 weeks or whenever Fastlane is. And once, I'm sure Bryan's going to lose to Roman Reigns, and we're just going to go back to square one by having the one-on-one match. But they were teasing a little bit when all those three guys were in there. I'm thinking to myself, like, imagine you had a triple threat match and that went amazing. You have four guys in there, and you have just talented Daniel Bryan. You have Brock Lesnar. There's so many combinations you can do in that mix. You have the the Shield rivalry with Seth and Roman. You have David versus Goliath with Brock and Daniel Bryan. You have the unfinished business with Brock and Seth. You have just the feud between Roman and Bryan, and then you have Seth and Bryan. There's just so many ways you can go with this, and I think that would make for a lot more compelling main event. Uh, I don't remember the last Fatal 4-Way main event we've had at a WrestleMania. I know there's been a lot of triple threats over the past years. 25, you had the world title with Cena, Big Show, Edge. You had 24 with Orton, Triple H, and Cena. 30, you had Batista, Orton, and Bryan. So it seems like every year there's at least one triple threat. I'm sure you missed a couple years, but triple threats are always a thing at WrestleMania. But you don't see too many Fatal 4-Ways, so it would definitely be mixing things up a bit. But the only downside would be that the talent pool, the talent roster they have right now, it's very thin, and you have four of your top guys in one match. It really leaves for a not so great undercard. You're gonna have your Divas match, and then you're gonna have, I guess, a Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker match. But when it comes down to it, which other top guys do you really have that can really get the crowd going? Literally on five fingers. Uh, Ziggler, Ambrose, you know, Ziggler. Well, excluding Bray and Undertaker because I think they're already getting paired up. But whoever's really left, you really have Ziggler, Ambrose, and I'm trying to think of more guys who people actually cheer and care about. Maybe Ryback, you want to throw him in there. So that's three. You know, you need a lot more than three guys to really fill up a WrestleMania card. So with that, Randy Orton, Sheamus, there's your five there. I thought Randy Orton was gonna come back tonight. There was a little picture going around of a guy dressed up, his face all covered, hat on, jacket on. I thought he was gonna, obviously it didn't happen, but yeah, just this match right here on Raw was just showed you. These I've seen these guys wrestle before in ROH, and it was great. This is, I think, their third time maybe facing on Raw, and it's been great every single time. And it's one of those things that you give these guys a main stage to go on, and it's very, very possible that they're going to put on a match that is going to be remembered for the ages. It reminds me of a Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. The two styles are so similar, but they're so different, you know. Well, especially with Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, you had an Olympic gold medalist, you know, just ground, grapple, whatever, and Shawn was the showstopper, the headliner. It made for a perfect mix, and for the first time, you really saw them go at it, and it was ended up being a classic, one of my favorite matches of all time. And with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins, we've seen a little hint and a little glimpse of what they can do. And I think you just put them on a stage where they have a good 20 minutes, 30, whatever time you need, uh, at a place where they can be motivated to just excel even more, like a WrestleMania. I guarantee you that match can be a contender for match of the year, or maybe match of the year itself. Because these two guys go out there, they know each other so well, they know what gets the crowd going, and they're so good at being who they need to be to get themselves, you know, get themselves over, I guess. So great main event. The Raw itself was okay, but I'm curious to see where they go with this Fastlane thing, because I really hope it ends in a no contest, and at the very least we get a triple threat match with Bryan, Reigns, and Brock. But knowing the WWE and just the way they play with the fans' head, it'll probably just be a one-on-one, or Bryan will get screwed probably by Kane. They'll have like a couple more matches until WrestleMania, and then Bryan's gonna challenge. I guess Ziggler was the original plan, or Sheamus, and then just Roman Reigns just excels to the top. So that's just a thing. So see you guys in the next video.